I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-minute convos where I help you create a brand of your own unique, real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good afternoon, Andy Renk. How are you going on this wonderful, beautiful afternoon?
Angel, I'm doing wonderful.
It's a great pleasure to connect with you. Please do tell us, what part of the world are you in right now?
I am in beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona, out here in the desert of the United States.
Oh, that sounds great. It's always warm in Arizona, isn't it?
Well, yeah, in the summertime, it's finally cooled off, so it's getting to be the good time of year, so we're not sweating it out.
Well, that's great. And tell me, which of your talents is responsible for us meeting?
Oh, wow. Well, I think that you found me because, I do a podcast as well, so you may have found me there, and
Right.
I also run a digital marketing agency.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the podcast, please. It was definitely the podcast that the keyword. Yeah, let's talk about that, please.
Sure. So I have a podcast, and I do it with my co-host Tom Trush, and it's called The Business Marketing Insider. And we give small business owners tips, tricks, and tactics that help them build their leads, loyalty, and sales. And we do that. A couple times a month.
Yeah, you guys were talking about that, right? Like how regularly you podcast.
Yeah.
You were joking about that. I was listening to it, and it's really intriguing. You know what I thought when I was listening to it? Back in the day, when people ran businesses, they had to keep their cards close to their chest, right? Because of fear of the other person being able to take the skills, right? And run with it.
Yep.
But nowadays, people are so busy that when you share the skills you have, they immediately think it'll be so much easier if I get him to do it for me, right?
Exactly.
But the value you were sharing, it's you and your co-host. It was really, it's a lot.
Well, thank you. Yeah, no, it's valuable information, and a lot of this stuff gets it's pretty complicated because obviously everybody knows the business that they're in and the skills and things that it takes to do whatever you do. But, you get into this marketing world and there's a lot of stuff that people just aren't aware of and a lot of, cool tools and beyond that, just strategies that everybody should be using. So we just like to share that stuff and make it available for people.
Yeah. So who did you learn those skills from? The selling? Let's talk about the digital marketing that you do then. Who did you learn that skill from?
Boy, that's a good question. I've been doing this for a long time. So I started probably over 25 years ago when people didn't even know what email was. And, I was fascinated with technology, and I've always been sort of an early adopter. So I started playing around with HTML and programming back in the day. And I got a degree in marketing. So I love the creative part of it too. So when the internet started to emerge, I just sort of plowed myself into learning that stuff, and I've just done it ever since. So I taught myself how to program, and then just built my skill set along the way, and so that's kind of how I got into it, and I love it because there's something new every single day.
It is, right? Every single day. In fact, every single second it feels like sometimes.
I know. Well, and sometimes it feels like it can be overwhelming, but it's it's such a cool place. And especially now there's so many tools, and, the software has evolved so far that, it's just really easy for people to, to implement this stuff. But a lot of times, what people stumble on is there's not a good framework, and it's almost, it becomes overwhelmed because there are so many choices and so many different, opinions and people trying to tell you different things that, it can be overwhelming. But, it's one thing that I learned actually from Steve Jobs's biography a few years ago after he passed away. His whole thing when he went back to Apple, after he'd been gone for a while, and their product line was a mess, but he came back and his whole mantra was simplicity and focus. And I think, that really applies to a lot of things in life, and especially when you're getting into the marketing space rather, and especially digital marketing, it's just really being focused on those one or two things that are going to really be effective for your business, right? Rather than trying to do everything, because there's a lot of shiny objects out there.
Yes, there are. Yes, there are. And like you could get lost with the shiny objects alone, right? And
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
I've
yeah.
gotten
Well, believe
lost a
me,
few
I've
times.
suffered from that. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, tell me one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years, please.
Oh my gosh. You know what? I think even well, I'm going to say it's probably been for the last 25 years. I think the one thing that I do consistently is learn. And I am a voracious reader. I love to read or listen to audiobooks. Whether I'm in the car or walking, but I just love to get exposed to new ideas, from a variety of different sources. And, I listen to a lot of business stuff, a lot of marketing stuff, but then, I think it's good to expand your horizons and listen to something completely different once in a while. So to answer your question, I would say it's just learning. I think it's a lifelong endeavor that you need to do.
How does it make you feel?
Oh, it's inspiring. Oh my God. I mean, and that's the cool thing is I keep, I use Evernote and we'll keep little notes, and I have this idea file to keep me focused, to keep me away from the shiny objects. So when I listen to something and hear a great idea, I put it down in that tickler file that, to use it another day or to implement it in something I'm doing. So it inspires me for sure.
Yeah, I need to get one of those. I was speaking with a woman earlier on, and she said her husband bought this book for her, right, to write her all her ideas in. And she said, but I think he bought that because he was tired of hearing them.
Well, that could be it. Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it worked for him or not, but when you get cool, exciting ideas, it's fun to share them with people.
Yeah. Well, suggest to someone why they should do what you've done by definitely journaling those ideas.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, you gotta. It's a never-ending process. I think there was I listened to a great book a couple weeks ago by James Altucher, and his whole thing is, you should be an idea machine. Yeah. You should come up with 10 ideas a day. That's his whole thing.
Love it. Well, amazing audience. We are live with Andy Renk here. Andy is the podcast host of, let me find this. Where is it? The Business Insider. I want to get it correctly.
Business Marketing Insider.
Okay. This is Marketing Insider.
We got it.
Yeah. Is it This is Marketing? Let me check and see if I'm seeing right on your website, on your LinkedIn page. Oh my gosh, where did it go?
No, it's okay. No, it's the Business Marketing Insider, and you can find it on iTunes. It's
Business
on iTunes.
Marketing Insider. Okay, right. Yeah. Oh, I thought you. Okay, wonderful. Business. Yeah, you should know, right?
I better know what the name is.
Well, that's great. Well, Andrew, let's switch gears for a moment now, and let me invite you now into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Andy, what is your earliest childhood memory?
Gosh, let's see. What is my earliest childhood memory? This is an interesting question. I don't know that I've been asked this one before. You know what? I think it was probably when I was about 3 years old, I think, and my parents were living in an apartment, and I remember playing on the piano my mom had in the living room, and I don't know. I just had I had one of those old derby style hats on. I don't know why I remember that, but that's what I remember.
Wow. Did you say how old you were? I got lost in the image.
Oh, well, I was 3 years old.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Not now. Yeah, definitely back then. So you were 2 years old. Why do you think this memory is so clear?
I don't know. I have no idea. It's just one that that jumps out of my head for some reason.
So you said you were playing the piano in the living room. Is that it?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
All right. Yep. Well, can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
Let's do it.
Well, I'm not too sure about the hat, right?
I used to love to wear hats when I was, a little kid.
Okay. All right. Well, for the piano aspect of it, I love the idea of what it takes to build a piano. It's definitely a combination of the keys, right, that create a sound, and what you're doing via what you do via sales generation, right, what you're doing via email marketing campaigns, what you're doing by helping people grow their revenues on Facebook, is that it's a combination of the correct keys that make the right sound.
Oh my gosh. You are good.
Hey, this is all you, my friend.
I love it.
If we fast forward to when you were 12, what was your favorite song?
Oh my gosh, when I was 12, we used to, well, I'm old enough that we had 45 records back then. And I remember actually one of the first, when I was about 12, I'd saved all my money from the summer working, and I bought a stereo, and it had a turntable, and it had an AM/FM radio, and it had an 8-track player, which I'm really dating myself there. But I remember one of the first records I ever bought was Billy Joel, The Stranger.
Yeah. Well, it's really amazing how you can connect these things, these memories, these thoughts, these names. It's just amazing, right? Like, hey, with that hat, you were definitely the stranger, right?
There you go. I was indeed.
Andrew, hey, we've arrived at our destination. But before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to go pretty quickly here. Andy, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Oh my goodness. I have actually.
Oh, that's great. Are you married?
I am not.
Do you have children?
I do not. I have 3 dogs.
Oh, they definitely count. You better call them out.
Yes.
Do you believe in God?
Yes.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
I do.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
Oh, no.
How about 3 hours a week?
Probably 3 hours a week.
And what about screen time? The phone and the computer, is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Oh my goodness. Screen time. Yeah, it's probably, I'm doing a lot of screen time, just the nature of what I do. So I would say it's probably about 8 hours a day, I imagine.
All right. Andy, well, after having 1,001 conversations in 2016, my voice got like this.
I bet.
Well, no, it's actually, if you're not hearing it, I'm not going to mention it, but my voice is crazy raspy right now. But hey, after having that, I came up with a workbook. The name of it is called Yours, Your Own Unique Real Self. Connected to that, as you journey into that workbook, is your own unique real statement, your mission. If you had to share with us, Andy, your own unique real statement, your mission, something that represents Andy Renk, what would you say that is?
Well, I would say that ultimately from a 35,000 foot perspective, my goal is to lift people up and make them inspire them and motivate them to do whatever it is that they're passionate about. That's the kind of thing that I'm passionate about. So, whatever form that takes, if it's giving someone a great idea to help their business grow, or if it's just somebody that needs encouragement to try something new or to venture out on another path that they may be uncertain about. So I think that's it, just to uplift people and make them reach their full potential.
And there we go. Well, Andy Renk, hey, this was a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Well, I would just like to say that it's been a pleasure to be here with you today, and I'm inspired by your project to interview all these people, and I look forward to getting you on our podcast.
Yeah, sounds like fun. Like, you guys have fun on that podcast. I'll definitely jump in if you invite me.
Cool.
Well, Andy, again, this has been a great pleasure. Thank you for being on what is inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Awesome.
Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, a focus on diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.